Hi, welcome back to 5 is Prime. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators. So the rule for this is that the fraction piece of the mixed number must have like denominators before it can be solved. So down here, I've got two mixed numbers. A mixed number just means that there's a whole number and a fraction as one piece, as one number, you could say. So this is 2 and 2/3. So that's 2 wholes and 2/3 minus 1 whole and 1/4. So the rule for this is that we need common denominators. So I need to figure out what my common denominator is going to be. So I can start with 3 and 4. And I can skip count those numbers out until I find something that is in both lists. And in this case, that number is going to be 12. So 12 is going to be my common denominator. So same process as subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. We're going to find our equivalent fractions. So I'm going to multiply 2/3 by 4 and 1/4 by 3. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3, and 4 times 3 is 12. Now with these mixed numbers, these whole numbers are just going to be copied down. We're not going to multiply 2 times 4 to equal 8. We'd be changing that fraction and making it way bigger than it is. We just want to find equivalent fractions for these fraction pieces. So our whole number is going to stay the same. I tell my students to just leave it alone, copy it down, and keep subtracting. So now I've got 2 and 8/12 minus 1 and 3/12. 8/12 minus 3/12 is 5/12. And then 2 wholes minus 1 whole is 1 whole. So my answer is 1 and 5/12. All right, another example. I have 3 and 4/5 minus 1 and 1/2. Same process. I'm going to find a common denominator by skip counting these out. And I see that 10 is in both lists. So 10 is going to be my least common denominator. Next step will be to multiply my fraction pieces only. So 4/5 is going to be multiplied by 2 because 5 times 2 is 10. And 1/2 is going to be multiplied by 5 because 2 times 5 is 10. My 4 times 2 for my numerator is going to be 8, and 1 times 5 is 5. And then I can just copy those whole numbers down. All right, now I've got 3 and 8/10 minus 1 and 5/10. 8/10 minus 5/10 is 3/10. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So my answer is 2 and 3/10. All right, I've got one more. And for this one, we just have a mixed number minus a fraction. So same process, 3 and 8. My least common denominator is going to be 24. 8 times 3 is 24, and 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 8 is 8. I just need to copy that whole number down and then subtract as usual. So 9/24 minus 8/24 is 1/24, and 3 minus nothing, since there's no whole number here, is going to be 3. So 3 and 1/24 is my answer. All right, I've got some practice problems here. Go ahead and pause the video, solve these on your own, and then come back and check if yours matches mine. So for this first one, I have 2 and 5/6 minus 1 and 1/4, and I need to figure out my least common denominator. So I'm going to skip count my numbers, and I see a 12 in both lists. So 12 is going to be my least common denominator. 6 times 2 and 4 times 3 equal 12. So 5 times 2 is 10. and 1 times 3 is 3, and I can just copy down those whole numbers. And I have 2 and 10 twelfths minus 1 and 3 twelfths. 10 twelfths minus 3 twelfths is 7 twelfths, and 2 minus 1 is 1. Again, we do not want to multiply those whole numbers because we would be making our fraction way bigger than it actually is. Over here I've got 3 and 7 tenths minus 2 and 2 sixths. Eventually you'll get good enough where you can list out your multiples and you'll see where they line up. I already know that 6 goes into 30, so that's going to be my least common denominator. And I can multiply 10 times 3 and 6 times 5. 7 times 3 is 21. We already know that 10 times 3 is 30. 2 times 5 is 10. And 6 times 5 is 30. Copying down our whole numbers. 3 and 21 thirtieths minus 2 and 10 thirtieths. 21 thirtieths minus 10 thirtieths is 11 thirtieths. And 3 minus 2 is 1. And I have 1 and 11 thirtieths as my final answer. And that is it on how to subtract mixed numbers. If you come across a mixed number where you'll need to regroup, I have that in another video. But I hope that this was helpful and that you learned something today. I will see you in the next one.